Hello everyone. Today's video is going to be about perimeter. So the first thing we need to know is what is perimeter. When I'm talking about measuring perimeter, we're talking about the total length of every side of a figure. The important parts you need to know here is that it's the total of every side. You have to make sure you get every single side of the figure. Okay, so your paper should look like this. We have our title, our definition, and then divide it in half around the center hole so we can start on our next section. So your first section here, we're going to do a couple of examples. In this example, I'm going to have a rectangle with the long side measuring 10 feet. Sorry, let me make that a little clearer. 10 feet. And the short side measuring 6 feet. If we remember the attributes of a rectangle, we know that opposite sides are equal. So if the top long side is 10 feet, that means the bottom side is also 10 feet. And if this left side is 6 feet, then that means the right side is also 6 feet. Now in the definition, I told you guys that the perimeter is the total of every side. And since we know that total means addition, that's the operation we're going to use here. Now to help you better see that, we're going to use a strip diagram. We know that a strip diagram starts with the total. Here for the perimeter, we don't know the total. That's our question. We have our strip here, and now we have to see how many sides this figure has. 1, 2, 3, 4. A rectangle has 4 sides, therefore I need 4 parts to my strip diagram. We're going to put the long sides first, and then the short sides. So I have 10, 10, 6, and 6. Those 4 sides, once I add them together, will give me the total of every side, which is the perimeter. So I'm going to do the 10 plus 10 first. That gives me 20. Then I'm going to do the 6 plus 6. That gives me 12. Now I can add 20 plus 12. And that gives me 32 feet. That is the total perimeter of the rectangle that I have here. 10 feet for each of the long sides and 6 feet for each of the short sides. Alright, so they should be on your top section of your notes. Right, it should look something like this, where we have our title, our definition, and the first example. Okay, now for the next example. Here I'm going to draw an irregular figure. Alright, for this long side here, I'm going to put 12 feet. I'm going to say this side right here is 6 feet. I'm going to put the bottom side as 12 feet as well. And then this top side is 4 feet. Now if you see here, I'm actually missing 2 sides. If I know that this long side right here is 12 feet, and I know this one is 6 feet, then this opposite side over here has to be 6 feet as well, because 6 plus 6 equals 12. If I know that this bottom side is 12 feet and this top side right here is 4 feet, that means this last missing side has to be 8 feet right here, because 8 plus 4 equals 12. So now again, I want to see the total of the sides. Again, that's going to be addition, and I'm going to model it on my strip diagram. I want the total up on top, but that's the part that's missing. And then I'm going to have my strip diagram. Now I need to see how many sides my figure has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my figure has 6 sides, so I need 6 sections for my strip diagram. I'm going to start with my long sides. I have 12 and 12. Then I have 6, I have 8, another 6, and lastly the 4. Once I put all of these together, it's going to give me the total length of every side, which is the perimeter. So to make this easier, I'm going to start with my 12 and my 12. That gives me 24. Then I'll do my 6 and my 8. That gives me 14. Then I'll do the 6 and the 4. That gives me 10. Now I can add all these together. And that gives me 48 feet total all the way around the figure for the perimeter. So now this is what your note should look like at the end. I've given two examples of perimeter and how to calculate the perimeter of a figure. The important part you need to know is that since we are talking about the total, we are adding everything together. You also have to make sure that you get every side of the figure, regardless of how many sides it has, so that you can get the full perimeter. And of course, remember the properties of a rectangle where opposite sides are equal, so that you can figure out a missing side if it doesn't give you the lengths of all of them. Be ready to discuss in class. Bye.